In this lesson, what we're going to do, we're going to extend the 2D vector work you've already done and apply it to 3D situations. So in this lesson, we're not actually going to learn any new techniques. We're just going to take the existing techniques that we already knew that work in 2 dimensions and apply them, extend them to 3 dimensions. There really isn't that big a jump. 3D vectors worry the heck out of students, but they shouldn't. It's absolutely simple. It's the same as 2D vectors. Now, if you feel a bit rusty on your 2D vectors, you should go back to the first year lessons that I've done and have a go at those ones. But anyway, here's an example here. So it involves the idea of the modulus of a vector. So it says if A is the point with the position vector 3i plus 2j plus k, and B is the point with position vector 7i minus 4j plus 3k, find the distance between the points A and B. Well, remember, in first year, 2D vectors, we learned that the vector AB we get by doing B minus the point A, like that. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to find AB by doing B minus A, and the fact that it's in 3D doesn't matter. As I said before, 3D vectors are nothing to worry about. It's just the same as 2D. All the same methods apply. Equals, and remember I said I hate seeing, absolutely hate seeing IJK notation. I always do it in column format because the vectors are just so much easier to visualize. So we've got B minus A, so that's 7 minus 4, 3. Take 3, 2, 1, which is equal to, well, 7 minus 3 is 4, minus 4 minus 2 is minus 6, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So there we have it. There's the vector AB. And remember, when we had a vector in 2 dimensions, its modulus, or its magnitude, we got by doing a squared plus b squared, square rooted, i.e. Pythagoras. The same thing applies to 3D vectors, except we just do all 3 of the quantities. So to find the length of a 3D vector, we just do 3D Pythagoras on it. So therefore, the length of AB is equal to the square root of 4 squared plus 6 squared plus 2 squared, which is equal to, and let's just put that in the calculator. So 4 squared plus 6 squared plus 2 squared, which is equal to 2 root 14. 2 root 14 is the length of AB. And there you have it. That's the modulus of a 3D vector. Nothing new learnt there. All the same techniques as with 2D vectors. So this next example is about collinear points, but it involves knowing what makes vectors parallel as well. So 2 vectors are parallel if one is a multiple of the other. So parallel means that V1, vector V1, is a multiple of V2 and vice versa. Those vectors are parallel if they are multiples of each other. Now, it needn't be an integer multiple. It can be any multiple whatsoever. And what makes lines collinear, what makes points collinear, i.e. lie on a straight line. So there we've got A, B, and C. So A, B, and C are collinear if AB is parallel to BC, and that's it. AB is a multiple of BC, because what that shows is that the 2 go in the same direction, AB and BC, and then also they share a point, so it has to be a straight line. If B is a shared point on each of these sections and they move in the same direction, that has to be a straight line. So that's all the pieces you need now to prove that something's collinear. And you should have done this with 2D vectors. So the extension, if you like, and it's a tiny extension, is that this is now for 3D vectors. So let's have a go at this one now. So you might want to pause it and have a go at it yourself, but I'm going to crack on with it. So first of all, I'm going to find what AB is. So AB is B minus A, which is 5, 8, 10. Take away 216, which is equal to 3, 7, 4. And then finding BC equals C minus B, which is minus 4, minus 13, minus 2, minus 5, 8, 10. So we get minus 9. So minus 13 minus 8 is minus 21. And then we've got 2 minus 10, minus 2 minus 10, which is minus 12. And notice that this is minus 3 lots of this vector here. So equals minus 3 lots of AB. So we've got BC is minus 3 lots of AB. Since BC and AB are parallel and share a point, B, then this implies A, B, and C are collinear. And there it is, the question done. So let's do yet another. So find a vector of magnitude 10 in a direction parallel to 3, 6, minus 2. So again, we've done this in 2D. It's just extending the method now to 3D. So we know that 3, 6, minus 2 is the direction we want, and we want it to be of length 10. So let's first of all find out what the length of this actually is. So let's call this vector A equals that, which means that the length of A is, using Pythagoras like we did before, 3 squared plus 6 squared plus 2 squared equals, and putting that in the calculator, root of 3 squared plus 6 squared plus 2 squared, which is equal to 7. That has length 7, but we want it to have 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vector A here, 3, 6, minus 2, and I'm going to give it length 1 by dividing its length by 7. I'm going to divide all of those by 7, and that'll reduce its length to 1. Then if I want its magnitude 10, I simply then times the result by 10. So I've scaled it down to 1 by dividing by 7, then scaled it up to 10 by multiplying by 10. And I can leave it like that if I want, or if I wanted to, I could take it into the vector as well. So that would be 30 over 7, 60 over 7, and minus 2, or rather minus 20 over 7, like that. Either of those answers is acceptable. So that's the building blocks of 3D vectors. Now I'm going to give you a more complicated question now that puts all of this together, but it really isn't that much more difficult. So in this question here, given that the points A, B, C, D form a parallelogram where A is 2, 3, 7, B is 5, minus 8, 4, and C is 1, 1, minus 8, determine the coordinates of D. Now I'm going to tell you here the key is a diagram. But you might be thinking, how can I draw a diagram in 3D? Well, you'd be right in thinking that on a 2D page, drawing a diagram in 3D is nigh enough impossible. So what we're going to do, we're just going to fudge it a little bit. We're just going to draw a diagram in 2D. So we've got A here. I'm going to say B is there. I'm going to say C is there. And I'm going to say D is here. And that looks like a parallelogram. So A to B to C to D. Now, it doesn't matter what the orientation of this diagram is, as long as A goes to B, goes to C, goes to D. So an equally valid labelling would be A, B, C, D, because A goes to B, then B goes to C, C goes to D, like that. What would be wrong would be if I went A, B, C, D, because in this parallelogram it would be A, B, D, C, not A, B, C, D. So we must connect the points in the order stated. So let's draw our parallelogram now. So there's A, B, C, D, and then back to A. Right, looks roughly like a parallelogram. So if we're going to determine the coordinates of D, well, what a parallelogram is, it has two pairs of parallel sides. So what we're going to do here, we know that BC is exactly the same as AD. So BC, and these methods have been covered in the two-dimensional vector stuff from the year one pure. So if this is confusing, you look back at that, all will become clear. So we know that BC, if it's a parallelogram, has to be exactly the same as AD. That means that C minus B equals D minus A. So if we now write that down in maths, so we've got C minus B. So the position vector of C is 1, 1, minus 8, minus B, which is 5, minus 8, 4, equals, so that's minus 4, 1 minus minus 8 is 9, and minus 8 minus 4 is minus 12, like that. So that's C minus B. And we know that that's equal to D minus A. So D minus A, which in this case is 237. And we know that has to be equal to minus 4, 9, minus 12. Which means that, if we just add those together now, so D is equal to this one, add this one, which is, so if we add them together, that would give minus 2, then 12, then minus 12, add 7 is minus 5. And there we have it, the coordinates of D. Now what you could do here is also check it, because we also know, and we could have done it this way as well, that AB is the same as DC. So A to B, if we wanted to check it, AB equals B minus A, which we can see. So we've got 5 minus 2, which is 3. We've got minus 8 minus 3, which is minus 11. And we've got 4 minus 7, which is minus 3. If we truly are right, then that will be the same as DC, which is C minus D. So we've got 1 minus minus 2, which is 3. We've got 1 minus 12, which is minus 11. And we've got minus 8 minus minus 5, which is minus 3. So yes, they are equal. So we know we are right in this case. So we tackle these 3D problems exactly the same way that we tackle the 2D problems. There is no new method here having been introduced. So there's a sheet full of questions to have a go at, and basically the trick is to apply the 2D methods which you've learnt to 3D vectors, and the methods are all analogous. So I would also suggest, where necessary, draw a diagram, and it can be scruffy, it can be in 2 dimensions, but draw a diagram just to get a picture of what's going on. It needn't be accurate, and it's impossible to draw in 3 dimensions. So have a go at the worksheet, check every question as you go, check the solutions.